Okay, so I posted a video yesterday showing pytesseract and how it can be used to read images and get the text out of images. A few people were asking what I'd used it for and seemed quite interested in me showing them. So this is going to be that video showing what I used it for, and I'm going to basically just run the script and show what it does. So the code is right here, and I considered doing what I normally do with the coding videos I've done and basically going through my code and explaining how it works, but I never made this to show the people, and honestly it's horrendous to go through. You can see it's extremely long. It's like, I don't know, about 500 lines long or something, which is probably the longest code I've wrote so far, and there's just tons of bits that just go all over, and it won't make a lot of sense unless like you read through this multiple times. And I don't know, I'll probably post the source code in the description down below, so go take a look if you want to have a look through the source code. I'll probably go through right now and just outline key points of what it does. So actually I'm not going to do this right now. First of all, I'm going to show you what RuneScape is and basically what this does. That'll probably help a lot. So yeah, let's do that. Let's hop into RuneScape and have a look. So this is the Grand Exchange on RuneScape. What this is basically like a trading center where players can trade with each other without actually having to physically meet up. It's basically like a big a server where you put like your items to be bought and sold. So if you want to buy an item, you click a buy bag. Now you type in the item. So there's loads of items in RuneScape. So we're gonna buy, let's say we want to buy some pure essence. So you put the quantity in, so we're gonna buy one. You put the price in, so I'm upping the price a little bit because I want to make sure I buy this. Now, if somebody's selling one of these for less than 40 GP or 40 GP, I will immediately get this. So you see, straight away it completes. I get the item, and it gives me my change because someone was selling it for cheaper. Someone was selling it for 28 GP. Now, what I can do with this is I can then sell it. So you can click it to shut it in, or you can click a sell bag, and then click it to put it in. Now I'm going to drop the price because I want it to instantly sell. So if somebody's buying it for more than 13 GP, somebody's going to immediately get it. Now you see I got more than 13 GP, I actually got 27 GP, so somebody was buying it for 27. So now I've got these two prices, we can look in my sale history, and you see I got I bought it for 28 GP here, and I sold it for 27 here. So what this means is there's a 1 GP margin. So what I could do is I could buy pure essence at 27 GP, and I could then sell it at 28 GP, and I would be making 1 GP per pure essence that I bought. So pretty simple, basically just trading to make money. That's what the bot's going to do. Just going to trade on the Grand Exchange and see how much money it can make. So one thing to note on the Grand Exchange is items have limits. So every 4 hours you can buy a set amount of each item. So for pure essence it happens to be 25,000. So I can show you this right now. If I try buy pure essence, if I try and buy say 50,000 pure essence and I buy it for a big price, so it'll definitely buy. You're going to see only 25,000 of it's going to buy, so 24,999. That's because I've just bought one right then that you just saw. So it's gave me change because I paid significantly more, or I was willing to pay significantly more than it was actually costing. Now, in 4 hours, I'd get the other half of this, but obviously I don't really want offers sitting in the Grand Exchange for 4 hours blocking up one of my slots, because obviously you only get like these 8 slots. So yeah, there's limits to buying items, it's important to note. But there's not limits to selling it. You can sell as much as you want in 4 hours. Don't have to worry about any of that. So the price actually just shifted. So you see I sold these for 26 apparently. But anyway, so you can see the idea is basically we're going to buy 25,000 of them at 26 GP each. And then we're going to try and sell the 25,000 that we buy at 28 GP each, and hopefully make like 50,000 profit overall. So the idea is to script this so I don't have to sit there and figure out the prices. Now, what the script's going to do is basically buy the item for a high price, see what it gets it for. It's going to go into this tab, read the number, save that number, then go back, sell the item, collect the money you just got for selling the item, check the sale history. Now read the number again, because the number now will be the sale price. It's going to keep track of both these numbers, and it's going to use that as its margin, and then it's going to trade that particular item within that margin. So I just hop into code for a sec. You see we've got like an item class that keeps track of all these different things we need to know about the item, such as the item, the limit, the image. So it's like a screenshot of the image. You see when we search for an item in this, so pure essence, you see we get an image of the item. So basically all these images, I set up a little mini script that I can quickly show you right now. This right here, you can have a read through this, and have a read through of this by yourself to see how it works and stuff. But basically all it does is create loads of different image files with all the different images in of the items that I need. So yeah, that was pretty handy, saved me having to go do all them manually. Now the reason we need the image is so that when we search for the item we know where it is and where to click. So obviously we find this item right here, we click right here. Sometimes, so for example with coal, the image isn't right there, it's right here. This is the coal we'd want to buy, not charcoal. So it would find the item image and correctly click right here. So that's the reason I did that. Now, everything else in this basically I'm going to skip over. It's basically horrendously like coded, so it's just extremely hard to follow, and I don't think there's a lot of value in it. You're probably better off just watching it play out and see what you think of it, and then I might go through a little bit more of it at the end. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of code right there. I'm going to keep the command window up because you're going to see the output, you're going to see all the different things. So one more thing I need to actually point out is in my code right here. So if I get rid of this, I've actually hard coded in all the items that it knows. So obviously there's thousands of items in RuneScape. I've coded in 100 items. Well, I think it's like 97. I think I took 3 of them out. But basically there's a list right there of 97 items and their corresponding limits right here. So these are the items that it is capable of finding on the GE and merchanting them. Now certain items are better than others, but I don't know which ones are good and which ones are bad, and it changes on any given day. So what this does is when it's finished with an item, when it's bought it, sold it, and made a profit, it calculates the profit. It also calculates the time it took to buy and sell, so how long it's been since like that item first started being bought and sold. And it then gives it a score based on the profit divided by the time it took. So an item with a higher profit gets a higher score, an item with a longer time took gets a lower score. So I'm aiming for the highest profit in the shortest amount of time, that's the goal. Now all these scores get added to a dictionary. So hopefully you know what a dictionary is, hopefully you've seen my other videos, I've covered dictionaries in those. They all get added to a dictionary somewhere down here. So I'm pretty sure it's right here somewhere. Here we go. So no, where am I looking? Yeah, this one right here. So items with scores. This is appending to a dictionary right here, so it's appending item completed.item, so it's appending the name of the item right here. And it's given it a, so this is the key, and it's given it a value of this formula right here, which basically it scores it based on its current score and the score it just got off that last trade. So each trade is like kept in a history, and basically the newer scores affect the score more. A bit difficult to explain, but basically there's a score for the items is important to know, and the ones with higher score are prioritized more and searched more frequently to try and buy. So for example, when I start the script initially, I'm going to try and find the item that previously gave me the most profit in the shortest amount of time, and therefore hopefully make the most money as quick as possible. Because obviously I don't want to be buying and selling items that are not making me a lot of money and taking ages to buy and sell. That's just not a good money making way, so why would I want to do that? Okay, so these items and the scores are kept in a dictionary, and one thing I should quickly go over, because I've never covered this before, is I do this with the module called Pickle. And what this does is it takes things, so I think you can save lists and dictionaries and stuff like that, and objects and all sorts of different stuff, and you can pickle them. So where do I do it? I think it's down here somewhere. So right here with this file right here, it pickle.dump the items with scores, which is a dictionary. It'll dump as a pickle file, and it dumps it. So here's all the image files that I was talking about earlier. I grabbed them all, loads of different things that it needs to find, but yeah, there they are for you to see. So it dumps it right here. So this is the pickle file. Now it looks like rubbish to us, but this file right here I can then load, which I do up here at the beginning of the script. So it loads this dictionary from basically, so I can turn off the computer and I can then reboot it another day and keep the scores, because obviously the scores aren't going to change much day to day, so it's quite helpful to keep track of scores, and therefore know which items are good, which ones are bad. So we load this as the dictionary and therefore are using this. Now that's what you're going to see printed out at the start of the script, so let's get it running, and I'll talk about it in a bit more detail while it's running. Wrong one, so if I keep that up, get rid of that, and run. So you see all the scores and items that I have so far are printed there. There's only 34, that's what that number is underneath, it's the length of that dictionary. So far I've only tested 34 of the items. I do plan on doing more soon, but it takes a hell of a lot of time to get all the items to buy and sell. So you see now it's found all the boxes. It's picked the box at random of which one to buy and sell. It's picked the item with the highest value. So the Araxite arrow has a value of 84, I see on that list. And as far as I can see, that is the highest number, so it's done that right. Now it's checking the price of the item right here, so you see it's 183, but it doesn't know that yet. Whoops, I've actually got this misaligned. So here's one thing wrong with this. It doesn't actually detect the window, which would be nice. I didn't code this in originally, and I couldn't be bothered going back and changing it. But basically all I need to do to fix this is hit that button right there. It might be that button right there. Okay, so this should work, fingers crossed. Let's try again. Although I am kind of misaligned on the okay, one sec while I change what you're seeing so you see the whole window. There we go. So third time lucky. So again, same dictionary, because we're just loading the exact same thing. We haven't dumped anything new into there. We get a 15-second countdown just so I can like drag things off the screen and make sure it's all set up right. Now it's picked a different box the last time, because obviously, like I said, it's random. It still picked the same item because that item still has the highest score. Now it's finding the price for the item. Collecting the items that it's just bought and collecting its change. Now it flicks to this screen to take a screenshot of the price, and it reads that price and outputs it to the console. So you can see in the console there it's just output 183, so it correctly read the price of it. Now it's going to try to sell it. see what price it sells it for. So 178, which it'll now read on this screen. It reads on this screen, it doesn't read on the earlier screen, even though it probably could. I thought it was like an easier input on the sale history screen where there's no like GP in the way to confuse it and stuff. I thought it'd just help with reliability. Now it inputs the quantity, so the 9090 is the quantity it knows that it can buy. This is the limit, which is 10k minus 10. I just put like a 10 buffer in so that it would never run into problems with that sort of stuff. So it buys the most it can for the price that it can, because it saves the price at each stage. And yeah, basically tries to buy for the lower price. Now it moves on to the next item, because obviously we've got empty slots still, so it's going to put a new item in the next slot. Magic notepaper was apparently the next highest. Can't see it on the list anywhere, but I believe it. Struggling to find it on the list actually. Okay, I'll give up. I can't find it. Maybe I'm blind. Yeah, anyway, so it's found the price of magic notepaper. It's found the price of that. Now, one thing to note it does, if the price between the buy and sell is bigger than 5 GP, it's gonna like cut the margin 1 GP on each side, just so that I get priority on buying the items over other people's offers that are in there. Just helps with buying and selling stuff quicker, and it doesn't hurt profit too much since it's only 1 GP either side. Magic notepaper, I just found it. 83.6 it was scored, so only one below the Araxite arrow. So yeah, it starts the offer for magic notepaper, moves on to water rune. I'm really hoping these offers are going to actually buy quick enough that I can show you the other half of the script. Yeah, hopefully. I also hope it picks an expensive item so you can see that it knows how much money it has. So I've actually hard-coded in the amount of money I have. So I'm told that I have 90 million, which obviously was a bit of a lie. I have like 96 or something. But basically it thinks it has 90 million to work with, so it's not going to spend over that money. So it's not going to run into any errors where the game won't actually let it try and buy items because it doesn't have enough money to cover it. So yeah, it knows the price, it keeps track of how much it's spent, because obviously it knows how many items it's buying, it knows what price it's buying them for, so that's not too difficult to keep track of. Keeps track of total profit, because when a trade's completed, it obviously can work out what it bought for, what it sold for, net profit. Here we go, so here's an expensive item now. The limit for this is 10k, so it can buy 10,000 of these at a time, but it's not actually going to be able to do that because you can see it's only got 93 million. It also won't buy, and the magic notepaper I just bought, that's quite good because it's going to show you the half of this now. It also won't buy enough that it's going to run out of money and not be able to fill the other boxes. I've set it up so that it can only buy the amount of money it has divided by the total number of boxes left. So I think there's like 6 boxes left, so it's probably going to spend about 20 mil on rune bars. Less than that actually. 1, 2, 3. There's 5 boxes left, so yeah, it's probably going to spend about 18 mil on rune bars, because I didn't want it to run out of money and then not be able to fill in the final boxes, because obviously you're missing out on like potential profit there if you're not filling all your boxes. So it's going to buy some rune bars, so you see 1,267, which is nowhere near the limit. And I've added in a special list that will handle, like once it's placed this offer, once this is bought, it adds them like a cooldown list. So like I was saying, they've got like a 4-hour limit. Actually, I'll come back to this because it's about to sell the notepaper. So you can see it clicks the sell box, it remembers the price that it bought the notepaper for, it hasn't confused it with any of the other items because obviously they're all their own objects. And yeah, it tries to sell that. So back to the limit thing. The rune bar, once it buys them, the 1000 and whatever it was that it's bought, it'll be put on cooldown. So what it does, it keeps track of the time that it bought them at, keeps track of which item it was, and it keeps track of how many were bought. And then what it does is there's a section of the code where it'll check this list and it'll say, is that time that it was bought at longer than 4 hours ago? If it was, this can come off cooldown now, and the number that you bought can now be rebought again. So each time it buys the rune bars, so when it buys that 1200 rune bars, it's going to take away from the number it can buy on its next potential trade. It's going to take that down by 1,000 odd. So it starts at 10,000, it'll then go down to 9,000. It just means that it can buy rune bars multiple times in the 4 hours, as long as it hasn't bought more than 10,000 in total. It's quite clever. I was quite impressed with how I'd done that, even if I do say so myself. So you can see in the console as well, it's actually outputting the text versions of what it's been buying and what price is at and stuff. Keeps track of the amount of money that it thinks it has. So at the minute it thinks it has 66 mil. This is obviously because I told it had 90 when really it had 96 or 97, whatever it had. So yeah, leave this running a little bit longer. I want to see the preferably I want to see the rune bars buy and sell, but I don't know how long they're going to take. Wouldn't mind the notepaper finishing as well, so you can see that it updates the price, the score. Sorry, updates the score for the notepaper. One other thing it does as well is once it has bought an item, it checks whether or not it was like a long time ago that it placed the offer. So for example, if these rune bars don't buy for like another hour, in an hour the price might have shifted a little bit. So once they're bought, it'll buy one more just to recheck the prices and check that check what like the new buy and sell price are, so it's selling at the right price and never at a ridiculous price that is basically going to take too long to sell. So you can see now why this is actually taking so long to get all the scores of. You can see the items take ages to buy and sell, and to be honest, it's like it doesn't make amazing money per hour because of the fact I haven't got all the scores, but getting the scores just is a lot of hard work. If I knew which items are good and they're going to exchange to merchant originally and only filled the list with good items, then obviously it would help, but I don't, because I haven't played RuneScape in a long time. I'm a bit out of the loop when it comes to which items are good and bad. So the cannonballs are finished buying, so you'll go back to them now, check them, put them back up for sale. As soon as one of these sales have gone through, I'm going to stop this. So the incandescent energy bought almost instantly. That's a little bit worrying because maybe the price is dropping, but we'll see. We'll see if it makes some money. Incandescent energy had a margin of 2 GP, so that'll be like 50k pretty quickly if that sale goes through. Yeah, the list of items, by the way, I got all these from the RuneScape website where you can go on the Grand Exchange, like most traded items. There's 100 items on there, so I just picked all 100, and then I've dropped a couple off. I dropped off pouches, like just plain pouches, because one, they were a pain to find on the exchange, because when you type in pouch you get all the different types of pouches you can get, and it makes locating them difficult for the bot. It would have to have like a scroll wheel feature, and I couldn't be bothered coding that, so I just got rid of the item. I got rid of vials because they were so cheap that they were just not buying and selling for the 1 GP margin. Like, they were being traded at a single price, and it just made it difficult. And I think I got rid of another item, but I can't remember what it was, and I can't remember why I got rid of it, but yeah, pretty sure there was another item. So, something I want to add to this, to do, is rather than it trading the items that have the highest score, I want it to trade the items that don't have a score. So, you've seen, like, when the dictionary loads, I've only got 34 items in there. There's actually like 97 in the list or something like that, so there's like 60 items that don't have scores, and obviously I could be missing some really good items there. So what I'm going to code probably later today actually is a way of only searching for items that you don't already have scores for, giving them scores, and then obviously all the items will eventually have scores and be able to be searched for. I'd like to add some sort of like decay into the score as well, so that like something that has a very good score, unless it continues to perform really well, doesn't hold that score for too long. And I'd quite like, for example, rune arrowheads one time gave me a really bad flip. Like, for some reason, like as I bought and sold the items, the price changed so much that I actually lost money on the flip. So they've got a negative score, which is like the only item with a negative score, which means obviously it's going to be the last item picked out of like all of them, so it'll never get picked. So one time it could be a good item, I'd never know because it's just never going to get picked. So yeah, quite a few improvements to be made to it. I'd also like to add some sort of feature where rather than just pickling the dictionary with the scores in, I'd like to pickle the entire state of the game, like the state of the bot. So which Grand Exchange slots have items in, which ones are buys, which ones are sells, what items are on cooldown, when they were placed on cooldown, like all the stuff I'd like to pickle. And then what I could do is start the script. So I could stop it, go play a game, come back, run it again, and it'd do like the next phase of its script. It's probably going to be a lot of effort to do that, because obviously pickling all that stuff and making sure it's all like in sync at the right time is going to be quite difficult, but I reckon I could do it. Just take a little while. Really hoping something sells soon, but I don't think it's going to, so I might have to be stopping this right here. Oh, fire runes are bought. Let's let it finish this section first. Ah, here we go. Rune bars are bought, so let's see it. Sell rune bars. Okay, I'm gonna actually leave this running in the background. The code I'm gonna post in the description below. I'm gonna try and just quickly run through some of it now. This might interfere with the bot though, so I might actually crash it. But if I drag this off screen, and if I do this, then if I do this and this and this, okay, so hopefully you can see that. Might be a little bit small, I'm not too sure, but it's the best I can do for now while I'm running the bot as well and want you to be able to see what that's doing. So in this code, this part here, can you see the mouse? Yeah, you can see the mouse there. So this part right here is obviously where we load in the items and scores dictionary, and we order it based on which one has the highest value, so the highest score, and we append to our list based on that. Read through this, see what it does. It's not too complicated. What important parts are there that I should probably go over? I don't really think there are a lot. Basically, it just repeats different, like really short, small algorithms, like over and over in slightly different orders sometimes to buy and sell the items. Because that's all it's doing at the end of the day, is just buying and selling items just for different prices. So all it has to do is just keep track of everything, and it's pretty fine. Like, it keeps track of a lot of different lists, which is actually quite horrendous. I don't really like how much, like, this line right here. Like, look at how many variables are going in and coming out of this function. Like, there's an insane amount of variables going into this one function, and it's just, yeah. There's got to be a better way to do that, but at the time I wasn't too bothered about making it look nice. So PyAutoGUI, I'm not too sure how much I've went over this in the past in previous videos. I can't actually remember, but it's used a lot throughout this because obviously that's what I'm using to control the mouse and type. It's also what I use to do like the image location. So you can see there pyAutoGUI.locate on screen. What that does is it takes an image, and I'm passing in a region as well, so it looks in a specific region because we know roughly where it's going to be. And it tries to find the center of the image in that specific region, and then pyAutoGUI.click will click on that. pyAutoGUI.locate on screen passes you returns a tuple of the corners of the box basically that it's going to find. Now center will take the center of them points and return that, so just a single point now. And then pyAutoGUI.click will just click on the points you've just passed. So line 262 right there, that's what that line does. Locates the corners of the box, then takes the center of that box and then clicks that center. So some of the stuff's hard coded in, like you can see on line 264. The location of the item in the inventory is hard coded in, like with pixels. So unfortunately this only works on 1080p screens. I have tried running it on my laptop, but RuneScape resized this stuff, so all the images need retaken and stuff, and I really could not be bothered doing that. So yeah, unfortunately that doesn't work, but I might get around to doing that at some point, because I would like to leave this running even when I'm using the PC. But obviously a bit difficult if I'm gonna have to retake all the images and recode some of the like precise locations. Basically, because I was lazy the first time and didn't do it correctly the first time, it's going to be a ball ache to do. Now, this function right here, what this does is if it like has been too long since it bought the item, it's going to check the sell price again just to make sure that it's up to date. That's all that bit does. Find item prices. This is the main bulk of the script. This does the whole like picking a box, picking an item, buying that item in the box for like max, selling it for minimum, keeping track of the scores, adding them scores to the object, like the item object, then using them scores, setting up the first initial buy offer, and then once it's set up the buy offer, it like finishes that section of the script and goes back and like then runs the check for completed offer, because obviously when that one's completed it then needs to run a separate function that will sell the item now for the price. So yeah, that's the majority of the script. I'm not going to be going over anymore. Like I say, I'll post the source code below if anyone's interested. Leave a question. If you ask a question that like I could answer by text, I'll do that. But I will, if people are interested, go through the code and explain how it works, stuff like that. But I can't imagine people enjoying a video where I just go through 500 lines of code and show them what it all does. Yeah, that's that. Unfortunately, these items have still none of them are sold, so I can't actually show you it finishing the item up and then choosing to buy a new one. Like, I'd particularly like the rune bars to finish, and then it would start buying more rune bars, but unfortunately not going to happen. What I might do is end this recording right now. In fact, I'm going to do this. I'm going to end this recording right now. So this is going to be the end of the video, and then I'm going to start recording again, and I'll upload a separate part of this. It'll just be like 2 minutes long, just showing like the actual once item's sold, it'll show it just buying a new item or buying more rune bars, whatever it's going to do, whatever item's going to finish first. So yeah, that's that for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, like it, subscribe if you want to see more. You know what to do, leave a comment if you have any questions or whatever. And yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.